Welcome to today's Culture Builders. It's an article you can also find at tocculture.com. Be sure to subscribe to our weekly newsletter there or subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any future episodes or articles. Leading in the gray, navigating complexity when standards aren't black and white. So, got this text from a coach recently. It said, I'm trying to figure out the best way to handle player attendance and practices for our team. We'll have a large group and hard lines are appealing, but often feel too rigid. We had a player last year dealing with significant family issues, which required him to miss practices and at the same time missed a practice to get a haircut. Individual exceptions can seem easily unfair to others. I need a system that's consistent enough to explain to anyone looking in. So this message from this coach, it highlights a common leadership puzzle. How do you balance the need for consistent standards with the messy realities of individual circumstances? Whether it's attendance, commitment levels, or adherence to team rules, leaders frequently find themselves navigating the space between absolute policies and subjective judgment. The coaches struggle to find a fair and transparent approach to player availability. It mirrors the broader challenge of leading in the gray areas where simple solutions often fall short. The desire for a straightforward system, it's very natural. We seek clarity and predictability. It saves us time, focus, and energy, which are really scarce resources for a coach in season. Yet as this coach recognizes, a lack of flexibility in team rules can penalize those facing legitimate difficulties and does not give way to grace. At the same time, inconsistency in enforcing standards can erode trust and create perceptions of favoritism. The real challenge lies in discovering a way to navigate this complexity as a leader. What this coach is grappling with, the tension between establishing and enforcing standards and working with the diverse lives and situations of those they lead, it underscores a fundamental truth about leadership. The most impactful decisions are often made not in black and white, but in the nuanced shades of gray. So how do we as leaders navigate this complexity effectively? Here are a few guiding questions. Number one, what core principles can I commit to consistently? This coach who texted recognized past inconsistencies in his leadership. When the team would struggle to win games, more grace was given. In any complex situation, your commitment to underlying principles is crucial. While the application of a specific rule might need flexibility, the foundational values guiding your decisions must remain constant. For example, your core principles might include fairness, honest communication, and the team's overall well-being. If these principles guide your approach, even when a specific consequence is adjusted, your decisions will have a greater sense of integrity. Number two, how can I co-create understanding and processes for navigating complexity? Just as involving players in an attendance policy can foster buy-in, involving your team, parents, and other stakeholders in understanding how you navigate complex situations can build trust. This doesn't mean every decision is made by committee. Rather, that the processes for handling nuanced issues is transparent and, where appropriate, collaboratively developed. For example, in the cases of absences, this might involve defining clear boundaries, like collaboratively establish what constitutes clearly excused and unexcused situations. It could include identifying gray areas, so acknowledge the situations that don't fit neatly into either category. Develop a process for the gray, so create a transparent process for how these ambiguous situations will be addressed. This might involve your team's player leadership group meeting with the coach to discuss and navigate the gray together. And then consider a range of responses. So instead of solely relying on punitive consequences, explore a whole spectrum of responses, including support, one-on-one coaching, restorative consequences like makeup work, and logical consequences like loss of privilege that are tailored to the specific context. By establishing clear principles, not rules, and collaborative processes for navigating the inevitable gray areas, leaders can build trust, they can foster understanding, and make decisions that are perceived as both consistent and fair, even when the situations themselves are anything but black and white. Thank you for listening in to today's Culture Builders. Like I said, please subscribe, not just here on the podcast, but check out our weekly newsletter for other articles, for the other culture builders, for tools, for online courses, and all our other resources.